Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is TBR Schmitt and this is my wife Samantha.
Hello.
And today we are watching Miracle on 34th Street. What do you know about this movie?
So I've seen the newer version of this film.
Okay.
Remake, I guess. I saw it when I was a kid. I don't remember a ton of it, but there are plot points of the film that I do remember. I imagine this is probably exactly the same film. I have not seen this version.
Gotcha.
You have seen neither.
Yeah, I have not seen any Miracle on 34th Street, so I have no idea. But I know that this is a classic Christmas movie.
Yeah.
I feel like there's not very many Christmas movies that we can think of that we haven't seen.
Yes. Yeah, so we're venturing out onto some other...
older ones?
And just others. I mean,
movies that are...
scheduled.
Yeah, we have The Holdovers and Eyes Wide Shut are our other holiday-themed Christmas movies. So yeah, I guess. But I assume this one will actually be Christmassy.
Very Christmassy.
Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to it. I know it's a classic, so it's going to be cool to kind of check it off our list. And yeah, sure, maybe you've seen the remake, but you haven't seen this movie, so...
Yeah, no, I'm excited for this. Hoping like a good, feel-good Christmas movie.
Yeah, get in the Christmas spirit type of movie.
Yeah.
So if you'd like to see the full-length reaction for this, as well as everything else that we've reacted to, the link to our Patreon is in the description. If you'd like to interact with us on our Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram, all those links in the description as well. And with that, let's get into the movie. Whoa, Santa.
You've got them mixed up. You're making a mistake with the reindeer.
Go inside.
Open the door. You've got Cupid where Blitzen should be. Donna's antlers are but 4 points instead of 3. Still, I don't suppose anybody had noticed that except myself.
Is this really Santa?
Well, bye. Not at all. Thanks. Glad to have helped you.
I just said that because he had a beard.
This guy's like,
You're on the program float.
He needed direction for that? He's dressed like a pilgrim. Does Santa whip his reindeer? Uh-oh. Santa's a drunk.
It's all in the wrist. You've been drinking.
Well, it's cold. A man's got to do something to keep warm.
Put a jacket on.
Don't you realize there are thousands of children lining the streets waiting to see you? And I refuse to have you malign me in this fashion.
These pants are going to fall off in the middle of Columbus Circle.
Oh, no.
Your Santa Claus is intoxicated.
Oh, no.
Yes, it's disgraceful.
Jingle bells, jingle bells.
Oh, he's not even hiding it anymore.
I ought to take this cane and
And
give you
I
the...
ought to.
Dang.
Somebody, Julian, get some black coffee.
Shameful. Absolutely shameful.
Have you had any experience?
Oh, a little. No.
Oh, please.
No,
The kids.
The children mustn't be disappointed.
Get that costume.
Strip this man. Thank God Santa was here.
Wonderful. He's the best we've ever had. He didn't need any padding.
Oh, I just turned round and there he was.
I'm glad you turned around.
Mrs. Walker.
What a float.
she is over this.
Where's Susan? She's watching the parade.
Where? With whom?
With that Mr. Gailey who lives in the front apartment. Oh, I've been keeping an eye on her.
Wow, what a view.
Looks like they're having a little trouble with the baseball player.
He was a clown last year. They just changed the head and painted him different.
Certainly is a giant, isn't he?
Not really. There are no giants, Mr. Gailey.
Dang.
Maybe not now, Susie, but in olden days there were a lot of... Well, what about the giant that Jack killed?
Jack?
Jack?
You know, Jack.
Oh, your mother and father must have told you a fairy tale.
No, my mother thinks they're silly.
Wow.
People sometimes grow very big, but that's abnormal.
I'll bet your mother told you that, too.
I'm Fred David.
Yes, I know. Susan's told me quite a lot about you, too.
Interesting relationship.
What do you think of my parade?
It's much better than last year's.
Oh, what a critic.
And I want to thank you for being so kind to Susan. Cleo tells me that you took them to the zoo yesterday.
What the heck?
Part of a deep-dyed plot. I read someplace that the surest way to meet the mother is to be kind to the child.
What a horrible trick.
It worked. No Santa Claus, no fairy tales, no fantasies of any kind.
I think we should be realistic and completely truthful with our children.
The acrobats were good.
They ought to be at those prices.
Couldn't we invite Mr. Gailey? Couldn't we?
Oh, don't even think about it. I'll have a sandwich or something. Quite honest and truthful with the child. I must admit I haven't any other plans.
Can't lie to the kid.
Can I ask our eyes?
Oh.
Didn't I ask all right, Mr. Gailey?
That all depends.
Dinner's at 3.
Susie, honey, you asked just right.
You worked.
Yes.
Yes.
Jeez.
I just know that with that man on the throne, my department will sell more toys than it ever has.
Gee, that sure is an elegant costume.
Yes, I've had it for years.
Play Santa Claus over at the wine near our block, see? Since I carry my own pattern around with me, I got the job, see? I like to watch their faces get that Christmas look all of a sudden.
I like
Sweet.
Yeah, I like that the real Santa likes other people playing him.
Yeah.
At least correctly.
Yeah, none of those trunks.
No.
I just want to give you a few tips on how to be a good Santa Claus.
Go right ahead.
Things that we're overstocked on. You immediately suggest one of these items.
Yeah, consumerism.
Making a child take something it doesn't want.
Yeah, there's a lot of bad isms floating around this world, but one of the worst is commercialism.
Nice.
Don't care what Christmas stands for. Just make a buck, make a buck. Throw 'em on a floor. I get kind of tired just sweeping up dust. Thanks.
Ah, thank you, Alfred.
Just go throw that one and I won't do it in the house. I'll only do it in the backyard. I promise.
Wow.
I didn't get any of that.
No.
Well, Peter, I can tell you're a good boy. You'll get your fire engine.
You wait over there. Mama wants to thank Santa
Oh,
Claus.
no.
I tell you, Macy's ain't got any. Nobody's got any.
You can get those fire engines at Schoenfeld's on Lexington Avenue.
Macy's sending people to the store.
And whether Macy or somebody else sells a toy doesn't make any difference. Don't you feel that way?
Who, me? Oh, yeah, sure. I just don't get it.
Now, we've got skates, and they're very good, too, but they're not quite good enough.
Oh.
There you are, Jeff. Yeah, that's for you. Merry Christmas. Bye.
It's gonna get fired.
I want to congratulate you and Macy's on this wonderful new stunt you're pulling. Putting the spirit of Christmas ahead of the commercial. It's wonderful. From now on, I'm going to be a regular Macy customer.
Oh, wow. What a turnaround.
There are 6 more women out there who want to thank you.
Not now.
Well, personally, I think it's a wonderful idea, too.
The point is, will Mr. Macy think so?
Why does Mr. Macy need to find out?
Thought as long as we're in the store, you might as well say hello to Santa Claus.
Why?
Because when you talk to him, you might feel differently about him.
Tough cookie.
I'm Santa Claus. Oh, you don't believe that, do you?
Mm-mm. Your beard doesn't have one of those things that goes over your ears.
Well, that's because it's real. Oh, go ahead, pull it.
Whatever I want, my mother will get for me. If it's sensible and doesn't cost too much, of course.
The explanation for this is all very simple.
Susan, would you stand over here a minute? I want to talk to Mr. Gailey.
Uh-oh.
I tell her Santa Claus is a myth, and you bring her down here, and she sees hundreds of gullible children. This sets up a very harmful mental conflict within her. Whom is she going to believe?
Santa? Going back?
They keep waiting for Prince Charming to come along. When he does, he turns out to be a...
Oh,
She's my responsibility, and I must bring her up as I see fit.
Okay.
I think she needs therapy.
yeah, right?
I'm sorry she doesn't speak English. She's Dutch. She just came over.
I told her you wouldn't be able to speak to her, but when she saw you in the parade yesterday, she said you were Santa Claus.
Wow.
Ik ben blij dat je gekomen bent.
Oh, u bent Sinterklaas.
Ja, zeker. Zeg maar wat je zou willen hebben van Sinterklaas.
Blowing this little girl's mind, both of them.
Cute.
Ik wil alleen maar bij deze lieve dame zijn. Geef het in mijn laarsje, dank u Sinterklaasje. But when he spoke Dutch to that girl, he was so...
Susan, I speak French, but that doesn't make me Joan of Arc.
Damn.
She's a little confused, and I thought maybe you could help to straighten her out.
Oh.
Glad to.
What's your name?
Chris Kringle.
I mean your real name.
That is my real name. Second grade.
It's a progressive school.
Wow.
May I have this gentleman's employment card, please?
Yes, Mrs. Walker.
Chris Kringle, North Pole. Chris Kringle.
Next of kin.
Wait, where's that?
The bottom.
Oh, as old as my tongue. Thank God it stuck on that for long enough.
Would you go out and talk to Miss Adams for a minute, and I'll be...
She's gonna think he's absolutely insane.
I'm sorry, but we're going to have to make a change.
Change?
Well, yes.
Mr. Macy wants to see you immediately.
Uh-oh.
Would you sit down, and I'll be right back and sign your paper.
Who's with all the kids?
They're done for the day.
The effect that this will have on the public is... Oh, come in, Mrs. Walker.
Is this the real Mr. Macy? I didn't even know that was an actual person.
In the face of this tremendous response on the part of the public, I can't be angry with you.
Shut up.
Over 500 thankful parents expressing undying gratitude to Macy's. If we haven't got exactly what the customer wants, we'll send him where he can get it.
Wow.
The store that places public service ahead of profits. And consequently, will make more profits than ever before.
It's the right thing to do, plus money.
In your Christmas envelopes, you'll find a more practical expression of my gratitude.
Whoa.
And tell that Santa Claus I won't forget him either.
Looks like Chris Kringle's here to stay.
He just assumed it was our idea, so I didn't... What's the matter?
I fired him.
What? I don't care if he thinks he's Easter Bunny. You've got to get him back.
He's insane, I tell you. Oh, no, I've got to tell Mr. Macy.
But maybe he's only a little crazy.
Right.
If you fire him, and then we find out that he wasn't really crazy, Mr. Macy will have us examined and fired.
Christmas and I are sort of getting lost in the shuffle. And I'm glad I met you and your daughter. You two are a test case for me.
Test case.
If I can win you over, there's still hope. But I'm warning you, I don't give up easily.
What a threat.
A mental examination? Oh, I don't mind. I've taken dozens of them. Never failed one yet.
Really?
How many days in the week? 7. How many fingers do you see? 4. No damage to the nervous system.
Nice.
Who was the vice president under John Quincy Adams? Daniel D. Tompkins, and I'll bet your Mr. Sawyer doesn't know that.
Would you get me the Brooks Memorial Home in Great Neck? I want to talk to the doctor in charge.
Man.
She's not letting this go.
No.
How many days in the week?
7.
How much 3 times 5?
Oh, you asked me that before. You'll find the answer right there at the bottom of the...
I'm conducting this examination.
You're rather nervous, aren't you, Mr. Sawyer? Do you get enough sleep?
Reverse.
How many fingers do you see?
3. Oh, you bite your nails, too.
Oh.
Are you happy at home, Mr. Sawyer?
That will be all, Mr. Kringle. The examination's over. You may go.
Tough.
Agnes, how many times have I told you not to bother me at the office? If that fat, stupid brother of yours would get a job, you wouldn't have to be pestering me all the time.
Jeez.
After giving this man a comprehensive examination, it's my considered opinion he should be dismissed immediately.
Whoa.
He didn't answer the questions correctly?
Oh, well, yes, he did, but there was complete lack of concentration. He kept changing the subject. He should be placed in a mental institution.
What?
He only wants to be friendly and helpful.
That's what I feel, too.
When a fixed delusion is challenged, the deluded is apt to become violent. Look at the way he carries that cane.
Surely you're not implying he'd use the cane as a weapon.
This guy's psycho.
Exhibits his latent maniacal tendencies, which I assure you he will, please realize the responsibility is completely yours.
He's so bitter.
Yeah.
All that's got to happen is for a policeman to ask him his name. A big argument, clang, clang, Bellevue.
If someone was within, they could steer him away from any trouble.
You mean sort of take custody of him? In that case, he can stay.
Good. Thank you.
He needs supervision?
Your son's away at school. What about his room?
Well, I don't mind. We always have martinis before dinner. I'll make them double strength. You take him home to dinner, and I'll call you as soon as my wife's feeling gets.
Plastered.
All right.
Don't take about an hour or so. By that time, everything will be quite all right.
Says, give me time to get my wife drunk.
What sort of games do you play with the other children in the apartment building here?
They play silly games. What kind of an animal are you? And I said, I'm not an animal. I'm a girl. Only animals allowed here. Goodbye.
Dang.
Sounds like a wonderful game to me. Of course, in order to play it, you've got to have an imagination.
That's when you see things, but they're not really there.
Well, that can be caused by other things, too. Now, you've heard of the French nation, the British nation. Well, this is the imagination.
Oh, nice.
How would you like to be the Statue of Liberty in the morning, and in the afternoon fly south with a flock of geese? Put the tongue under your lips over your teeth. Stretch yourself and chatter, see?
What a crazy monkey.
We're just having our first lesson in pretending. Oh, doing quite well at it, too. Call the other monkey.
He's like, this is not gonna go over well.
Yeah.
Dr. Pierce doesn't want me to make that long trip every day.
Well, I'm all alone in my apartment.
No way.
Ride to and from work every day with Mrs. Walker and...
Yes.
Yes.
Now, don't forget to stretch. You're not stretching. Besides, I could see Susie now and then.
Hello, Mr. Shellhammer.
Yes, just a moment. Mrs. Shellhammer wants to talk to you.
Jeez.
Hello. Oh, it's upside down.
Thank you, darling.
Still no.
How silly of me. Hello. Why, we'd love to have Santa Claus come and stay with us.
Just a moment.
Shoot.
That's very sweet of them. Please thank them very much. But I'm going to stay with Mr. Gailey.
I think I'd better get the meat.
That's what I want for Christmas.
Oh, a home?
If you're really Santa Claus, you can get it for me. And if you can't, you're only a nice man with a white beard, like Mother said.
Now, wait a minute.
Yeah, dang, Susie.
Some children wish for things they couldn't possibly use, like real locomotives or B-29s.
I want a backyard with a great big tree to put a swing on, and I guess you can't get it, huh?
I didn't say that. It's a tall order, but I'll do my best. Good night, sir.
Good night, Mr. Crinkle.
Gonna have to pick up a couple of extra shifts at Macy's.
He's like, how am I gonna do this?
Convince this man to buy a house?
You like living in Manhattan?
Well, that's all right. Of course, someday I'd like to get a place on Long Island.
One of those little colonial houses. A little more effort on your part, and she might crawl out of that shell. Those two are a couple of lost souls, and it's up to us to help them. I'll take care of Susie if you'll take care of her mother.
Does Santa Claus sleep with his whiskers outside or in?
Cold air makes them grow.
How do you put your whiskers in? What?
I thought he meant like under the blanket.
Oh. Look at that.
Going hard.
We don't carry that brand, but I think Gimbel's does. Let me see. Thank you. Not at all. Not at all.
Wow. Good job, Macy's.
Is Gimbel's gonna be like, what is
What do
happening?
you think of this idea?
Every
every shopper in New York City suddenly thinks of Macy as a benevolent soul. Well, two can play at this game. We'll do the same thing in our stores in Philadelphia, Milwaukee, and Pittsburgh.
It's spreading.
Notify our stores in San Francisco, Atlanta, Toledo, and Newark to get going right away.
Everyone start spreading the wealth.
Just a little something to show my appreciation for all you've done.
Thank you, Mr. Macy.
That's a bit of money. What are you going to do with it?
Buy a house?
I have a friend. He needs an X-ray machine.
I'd better give you some...
I'll make up the difference. I can get it for costs.
Santa's like, whatever, thanks.
Do you happen to have a spare piece?
It's risky with that beard.
Yeah. Oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh, thank God. Thought he had to shave his beard.
Remember I was telling you how I like to play Santa Claus over at the Y on Christmas, and, well, he says that's very bad.
Sawyer, you mean,
That's the one. Do it because when they was young, they must have did something bad, and they feel guilty about it. It's what he calls a guilt complex.
How old are you, Alfred?
17.
That's it?
Doesn't seem to me that you've had time to be guilty of anything much except overeating. It's a lot of rubbish, Alfred. Don't listen to it.
It's probably way down inside of me someplace, see? I go every day for a little while after I finish my lunch.
Every day?
He's doing it for free because I'm an interesting case. Just that I hate my father. I didn't know it, but he says I do.
Jeez.
A few things have just come into my head, and I'm going to say them.
Time to get physical.
And chuck some coal at him.
Are you a licensed psychiatrist?
What business is it of yours?
Stop analyzing Alfred, or I go straight to Mr. Macy and tell him what a malicious, contemptible fraud you are.
Get out before I have you thrown out.
Oh.
You won't listen to reason. You're heartless. You have no humanity.
Are you going to leave? Out!
Oh, he did hit him.
He's unconscious. Better get a wet towel.
No, better get a doctor.
Mr. Sawyer.
You must have done something to him.
That's a good bump.
The moment I attacked his delusion, he became violent. I told you he had latent maniacal tendencies.
I told you.
And you better have the examination right away before he tells before Mr. Macy finds out.
This is going to hurt Chris very deeply, and I don't want to be the one to do it.
Oh, jeez. I can't believe Santa...
He deserved it.
You better get him out of the store on some other pretext. Then, once outside, I'll explain it to him.
All right.
Out!
Going to take some publicity pictures this afternoon down at the City Hall. You and the mayor.
Few things I'd like to talk over with him. But I'd made an appointment with Mr. Macy at 4 o'clock. Want to tell him about something.
Oh.
I'll be right with you. Just want to take care of a few of these kiddies first.
Oh, sorry, kid.
Where to? Bellevue.
Bellevue.
They're committing him?
Did she know about this?
Yes. We all discussed it.
Consideration of the property hereby agreed to be conveyed by the first party to the second party.
Santa's calling his lawyer.
Why, yes, we share an apartment together.
I'm afraid I shall have to recommend commitment.
I'll be right over, Doctor.
Poor Santa.
You deliberately failed that examination, didn't you?
I had a feeling Doris was beginning to believe in me.
She didn't know anything about the taking pictures with the mayor. That was Sawyer's idea.
Tricked.
You can't expect her to
It was
suddenly...
not just Doris. It was Mr. Sawyer. He's called normal, and I'm not.
What happens to you matters to a lot of other people. And people like Susie, who are just beginning to.
Yeah.
Maybe someday the Sawyers will be in here instead of out there.
Even if we can't win, we can go down swinging. Let's get out of here.
Let's break out of here.
I said Calvin Coolidge was the first president. I can imagine what they're thinking of me for saying that. But you'll get me out of this. I believe you're the greatest lawyer since Darrow. Just... But I believe in you. You can't let me down.
But you don't understand it.
It's gotta get him out.
Yeah. If he has a shot with that lady next door.
Now, you get the case dropped tomorrow, or you might have another lump to match the one that Chris gave you.
Oh, dang.
Nah, just fire him.
Mr. Justice. Supreme Court, what the heck?
Just routine commitment papers, cut and dried. The man calls himself Kris Kringle. Thinks he's Santa Claus.
Uh-oh.
I request a formal hearing to which I may bring witnesses.
There's no point in signing.
This asshole.
Mr. Macy would rather drop the whole thing right now.
Well, it can't be done. It's too late now. Kringle has been examined by psychiatrists of a city hospital.
Uh-oh. This guy's gonna eat all his nails.
Oh, so you're Sawyer.
Yes.
Boom!
Publicity. You know, that's not a bad idea. I'm going to have public opinion and plenty of it. And publicity's just the way to do it.
Oh,
Thanks, Mr. Sawyer.
Oh, right into the press room. Dude's gonna rip out his eyebrows.
Lunacy hearing? Oh, God. So many K's.
I'm telling you, get off this case. But why? Because you're a regular Pontius Pilate the minute you start, that's why. And nobody's going to hold it against me for doing my duty as I see it.
Uh-oh. Kids?
How about a great big kiss for Grandpa,
Uh-oh.
I don't blame them. Any man who puts Santa Claus on trial for lunacy.
See what I mean?
Yeah. Get me off this case. I definitely was not expecting this to be a court case.
Mr. Kringle, will you take the stand?
You don't have to answer any questions against your wishes or even testify at all.
Oh, I'll be glad to answer any questions I can.
Dang it.
Where do you live?
That's what this hearing will decide.
Good joke.
You believe that you're Santa Claus?
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, he does seem crazy.
What do you mean?
To the general public.
Oh, I understood the question perfectly, Your Honor.
He's trying.
Anyone who thinks he's Santa Claus is not sane.
Not necessarily. I intend to prove that Mr. Kringle is Santa Claus.
Oh.
He's crazy, too.
You're not serious about this.
Of course I am. You saw Macy and Gimbel shaking hands. That wasn't possible either, but it happened. Either I drop this impossible case immediately, or they will drop me.
See?
I beat them to it. I quit.
Oh.
I can't let Chris down. He needs me, and all the rest of us need him.
What a big swing.
You can't just throw your career away because of a sentimental whim.
Then I'll open my own office.
Yeah, he already said he wanted to.
And I promise you, if you believe in me and have faith in me, everything will...
Oof. Got up and walked away?
Faith is believing in things when common sense tells you not to.
Oh, you give up your job, you throw away all your security, and then you expect me to be happy about it.
Someday you're going to find out that your way of facing this realistic world just doesn't work.
Dang.
Yes.
These reporters make me look like a sadistic monster who likes to drown cats and tear the wings off butterflies.
Mr. Kringle seems to be a nice old man, and I don't see why you have to keep persecuting him.
Jeez.
I like the old man, too. Wish I'd never gotten into this.
Sometimes I wish I'd married a butcher or...
Well, my dear, if I lose this case, it's very possible that you'll get your wish.
I like how everyone's just like, please, no. Like, I don't want to do this.
You are the owner of one of the biggest department stores in New York City?
The biggest.
Do you really believe that this man is Santa Claus?
Well, I do.
Good answer.
Little hope for Santa.
It was for profit reasons, but it was a good answer.
Where'd you graduate from? A correspondence school? You're fired.
Oh.
Is there or is there not a Santa Claus?
The court will take a short recess to consider the matter.
If you go back in there and rule that there's no Santa Claus, you better start looking for that chicken farm right now. Oh, and the department stores are going to love you, too. And the Christmas card makers. You can count on getting just 2 votes, your own and that district attorney's out there.
The district attorney's a Republican.
I mean, you could just say, yeah, sure, there is someone named Kris Kringle, and leave it at that.
Before making a ruling, this court has consulted the highest authority available.
God?
American justice demands a broad and unprejudiced view of such a controversial matter. There are evidence on either side.
He's crazy, too.
Will Thomas Mara please take the stand?
Who, me?
Thomas Mara, Jr.
His son? Oh, shouldn't have brought him in today.
No, she had a subpoena.
Oh.
Do you believe in Santa Claus, Tommy?
Sure I do. There he is, sitting there.
Your Honor, I protest.
Overruled.
Why are you so sure there's a Santa Claus?
Because my daddy told me so.
Oh, hypocrite.
My daddy wouldn't tell me anything that wasn't so.
This sucks.
Don't forget a real official football helmet.
Don't worry, Tommy, you'll get it.
Is that bribery? Oh.
Your Honor, the state of New York concedes the existence of Santa Claus. I therefore request that Mr. Gailey now submit authoritative proof.
Your point's well taken, Mr. Mara. I'm afraid we must agree.
Good, good. Can't you just, like, go up there and do some magic?
That's why they're having
But
this.
he's so kind and nice and jolly. He must be Santa. Then I'm going to write him a letter right now and cheer him up.
You better give me that house. Oh man, won her over.
Here's a kid writes, Kris Kringle, New York County Courthouse. Can you beat that? The kid's right. How many Santa Claus letters we got down at the dead letter office?
I don't know. There must be about 50,000 of them.
Dang.
Kind of nice to get rid of them, wouldn't it, huh? Let somebody else worry about it, huh? Hey, jingle bells.
Get rid of all this mail. But is he gonna get the one letter that counts?
There we go.
This is worth more to me than all the governors and mayors in the world.
That's all he wanted.
Look at him. He hasn't got a thing.
Oh. All the mail.
It concerns the Post Office Department, an official agency of the United States government. Gross business of $1,112,877,174.
Dang, they made money at one point?
United States postal laws and regulations make it a criminal offense to willfully misdirect mail.
We are very happy to concede Mr. Gailey's claims.
Got him.
These letters have just now been delivered to Mr. Kringle by bona fide employees of the post office.
3 letters, Your Honor, are hardly positive proof.
Oh, okay, what about 50,000?
Oh, I'm sure we'll be very happy to see them.
Yes. Produce them, Mr. Gailey.
Bring him in.
But, Your Honor...
Put them here on the desk.
He baited them so hard.
A branch of the federal government recognizes this man, Kris Kringle, to be the one and only Santa Claus.
This court will not dispute it. Case dismissed.
He's like, thank God, get me out of here.
Yay!
Thank you so much, Your Honor, and a very Merry Christmas to you.
Gotta get out of there. It's Christmas Eve.
Yeah, it's got work to do.
Would you like to come to dinner tonight?
Tonight? I can't. It's Christmas Eve.
Oh, I forgot.
Oh, I wanted him to, like, fly away or something. Whoa.
You know my assistant Alfred, Mr. Macy?
Oh, nice.
Mr. Macy.
You made friends with Santa Claus.
Oh, it's X-ray machine.
But there are lots of presents there for you, darling.
Not the one I wanted.
Rough.
I was wrong when I told you that, Susie. Faith is believing in things when common sense tells you not to.
Huh?
Shattering her world.
Now, if you'll go this way, you'll miss a lot of traffic. I've written it all down.
I believe. It's silly, but I believe. Stop, Uncle Fred! Stop! Stop! Susie!
Just ran in.
The one I asked Mr.
Now,
Kringle
Susie.
for. Mommy told me if things don't turn out just the way you want them to the first time, you still got to believe.
Mom said that?
You told her that.
Oh.
The sign outside said it's for sale. We can't let her down.
Oh, no, it can't be.
That's Santa's cane?
Maybe I didn't do such a wonderful thing after all.
All right, that was Miracle on 34th Street. What'd you think?
That was everything that I wanted.
Was that very similar to the remake?
I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember a ton of it. I remember the Macy's Day Parade being like the start of it, the apartment overlooking the parade, and then I don't remember a lot of it. The court, the whole scene, all of it's gotta be the same.
Mm-hmm.
I just remember like it being Santa Claus.
Right.
And there was a little girl who didn't believe.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So the base was there.
Yeah.
Foundation. Yeah, no, that was excellent. And that was also like much different than I thought. Like Santa was very tame, I guess. Like there was never like a gift that like kind of
miraculously
like showed up or
Yeah.
something. Like he didn't do anything crazy.
It was very practical.
That's what I'm saying. It was like very, very practical. And even like a lot of the reasons were like practical, even if it wasn't so like jolly and Christmas, like the whole sharing like gifts at other stores.
Yeah.
It wasn't like it was like, oh, that's the right thing to do. It kind of was, but it was also like, we're having record profits. Let's keep doing that. Or like the judge who was like, it's not like he's like, oh, I love Santa Claus. He was just like, I cannot publicly like bash Santa Claus or else I can't get reelected.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of like hidden agendas,
yeah,
which are very realistic.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's just what was in the movie. Or like the shitty guy. It's not like a traditional, like I totally expected some sort of turnaround for Sawyer, like the psychiatrist or whatever.
Who wasn't a psychiatrist.
Yeah, like I thought maybe Santa would like break through and some miracle would happen where he like suddenly is a better person. No, the dude just sucked and he got rocked by Santa Claus and then he got fired. Like that's it. Like,
yeah.
Fuck you, dude.
Yeah.
So it was very, very interesting. Like it's a very hopeful and like magical Christmas movie, yet it doesn't shy away from like the motives of a lot of people or the fact that there are just assholes out there and stuff. And yes, there are things for profit, but you could still be a nice, happy person with like faith in Santa Claus and stuff.
Yeah, I think that's a good takeaway.
It was very,
from the movie.
Very, you know, I mean, typically I feel like a Santa Claus movie, like it's going to end with something like magical that someone's like, oh my God, you really are Santa Claus. This didn't really have that. I mean, it had like the house there at the end. That was the biggest miracle. But even that, it was more of like Santa kind of sneakily had them drive past the house and then they would just kind of see it and be like, well, I guess we got to buy it now.
Yeah, I mean, Santa was more of a figure that helped make the magic happen.
Yeah.
Versus being the magic.
Like even one of the first kids that came to the lab where he was just like, oh, you can get that toy. And then the mom was like, what you doing, Santa? Like, I can't, no one has this. And he's like, just pulls out the idea of where to get it. It's not like that toy magically shows up under their Christmas tree or something. So just a very interesting take on Santa Claus.
Yeah, I agree. It kind of sets this movie apart from like more current
magical Santa Claus. Yeah.
But you know that there's still those kind of moments of Santa Claus, the very beginning when he's talking about the reindeer.
Yeah.
And where they line up. So it's like he does. And, you know, when he gets the invitation from Doris to go out or to come to their house for dinner on Christmas Eve, he's like, I gotta work.
Right.
Like, I got things to do.
Yeah.
So it was like a mix of both of the magic that we don't get to see and all of that, and then the magic that we do see, the realistic magic of things, which I think is really important for life in general.
Yeah.
And like the kindness and the believing and imagination, all of those things that are important for real life without the kind of magic portion of it.
And that's what I really liked. You know, it doesn't come attached with that magic. Like, people believed he was Santa Claus because he was just nice and jolly. And even that time when he was like in the Bellevue, right? Is the, you know, where he was just like, he said something about like, you know, the Sawyers of the world are like out there and like I'm in here. Like, what kind of world is it where it's like, you know, nice kindness is frowned upon and then crazy people are just out there? And, you know, the sentiment from the lawyer of like, you can't give up, like you got to keep trying and stuff. So I feel like it's really cool to add that aspect to Christmas where it isn't necessarily just like you need the magic to believe. You just need some kindness and some warmth from some people, and like that's Christmas and the holidays. So I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I'm glad. And I liked it a lot. I think obviously seeing it as a kid versus seeing it as an adult are very different.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Viewings of this movie. But I loved this. I loved the original version of this. And I love getting to revisit this as an adult. I like getting to revisit this as a parent now, and kind of the importance of making the magic.
Right.
My favorite moment for sure was with the little Dutch girl.
Yes.
That had me tearing up.
That was beautiful.
That was such a good moment. You know, the mother setting the expectations of what meeting Santa was going to be like, and he might not be able to communicate with you, but you know, it's still Santa, and for him to pull that out and be able to talk to her and everything, I feel like that was such a beautiful moment.
Yeah, the movie was filled with stuff like that. Again, it like, that's not magical, like that's just someone being able to speak the same language as like a little kid who in that moment felt very probably homesick and alone, even though she was like adopted. Like, that's a huge situation. So to even just get that brief moment of like, oh my gosh, I get to speak to Santa Claus and he can understand me and stuff, like that was so beautiful. Or like even how like Alfred, like he just wanted to be Santa Claus too. And I love that like the real Santa Claus also loved other people being him and like spreading that warmth and that kindness, and then Alfred getting to be Santa Claus in the end there too. Like, just that stuff, that's what made it beautiful and like the holidays. And it's definitely a great takeaway where it's like, you don't need to have some magical spectacle or every single gift needs to be achieved or something. It could just be something very simple that could change someone's holiday to make it perfect. So yeah, what a great movie for sure.
Yeah, no, this was perfect for our Christmas viewing. Like we said in the intro, there's very different films that we were watching this year for Christmas.
Yeah.
And I feel like this was the Christmas movie for us, and I'm so happy we got to watch it. I go back to It's a Wonderful Life. In that I feel like this is like that. Like, you get that heartwarming feeling. There's such a good message. I really enjoyed this, and I'm glad that we got to watch something like this for Christmas and getting to see this now as an adult.
Oh, for sure. A great experience and a very interesting movie too, because it's like, it moved very quickly. Like, I was not expecting like a court case to prove Santa Claus or anything like that. Like, I feel like it skipped a lot of stuff, but it somehow made the movie better for it. Like, the relationship between, I don't even know their freaking names.
It's
like
Doris and Mr. Gailey, Fred Gailey.
Oh yeah? Their relationship obviously moved very quickly. We didn't see any of that or anything, or even like Doris coming around that came very quickly to her, like suddenly believing in Santa Claus as well.
Yeah.
But I thoroughly enjoyed the speed of the movie to get through some of this stuff that it's nice for like the end result, but you don't necessarily need to see all of the middle stuff. Because again, I think the main takeaway is just for the kindness and the warmth that Santa Claus brought. So I like that aspect of it.
Yeah.
So I had a great time. I'm definitely happy that we watched a Santa Claus themed, like Christmas themed movie, because our other two movies are definitely just set around the holidays, but this is Santa.
The Christmas spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this was awesome.
So if you'd like to see the full-length reaction for this, as well as everything else that we've reacted to, the link to our Patreon is in the description. If you'd like to interact with us on any other types of social media, all those links are in the description as well. And with that, peace everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.